Aloha and good morning from the Philippines. I'm trying something new at the moment and re-record my videos in English so that all my travel friends can also understand my videos because usually I record them in German. For those people who don't know me, I'm Annie. I'm traveling the world for around about 2 years already, and at the moment I'm traveling Southeast Asia. I started this trip in Thailand, visited Malaysia afterwards, then I spent a whole month in Indonesia. And at the moment I'm in the Philippines, and next month I'm thinking about flying to Japan, maybe also Vietnam, but that's not for 100% sure, so we will see. But I will definitely take you with me on my trips and keep you updated. And if you have any recommendations for Vietnam or Japan, please let me know in the comments. In this video I will only talk about Indonesia, and you guys asked me some questions on Instagram in the last days, which I will definitely try to answer in this video. And I will also let you know which exact travel route I did. But I will recommend a route when you only have 3 weeks holiday, but I can tell you in advance that if you have more than a month of time, it's 100% worth it and you can definitely spend more than a month here. So I will definitely come back and see the rest, which I couldn't visit this time. Maybe next time I will come for another month or 2 months in total. If you'd like to do the same, you better apply for a 2-month visa in advance. It also really depends if you are more the ocean or beach person, or if you are also interested in hiking mountains and nature. Indonesia has definitely a lot to offer. I did a jungle trek, climbed volcanoes, visited beautiful beaches and scuba dive sites. I will talk about all those topics in this video because I didn't just visit Bali. Most of the people think that Bali is an own country, but actually Bali is just one of the islands in Indonesia. I started my trip in Indonesia on the island Sumatra after visiting Malaysia, so I just took a flight from Kuala Lumpur and just booked a 3-day jungle hike into the jungle of Sumatra, which is known for one of the last places where you can see orangutans in the wild. This trip was recommended to me by several people, so I was really excited about it. The other place where you can see them is Borneo. For me, this was the best start in Indonesia and it was 100% worth it. I also recorded a whole video about this trip, so if you're interested in this jungle trek, I will put the link in the description box with all the booking details, costs and how you will get there. I will also put the Instagram page here if you're interested where I booked it. The company is called Orangutan Explore. The guides were really friendly and also the food is like 100% worth it, and it was served in the jungle and it's included. We slept in cabins in the middle of the jungle and just showered in the river. For sure there's no service, but my group was amazing. So we just sat around the fire, played card games and told each other some travel stories and also some horror stories. I can promise you it will be an unforgettable experience. I still dream and think about this trip here and there. To go back to civilization, you will float down a river in a tube with all your luggage, and believe me, it was so much fun. You can only book a 2-day trip where you only spend 1 night in the jungle. There are also more options where you can hike for 5 days or more. I decided that I will book a 3-day hike with 2 nights in the jungle. I would really say that it depends on the person, but for me this was definitely the best option. There's also no power in the huts, so just bring a full power bank with you and maybe your phone and a camera if you want to take some photos, which I would also recommend, just for the memories. I would also say that you will learn to appreciate your bed afterwards, but this trip is a once in a lifetime experience. After my Sumatra adventure, I took a flight to the island Java, and the island Java has a lot of attractions to visit, for example Jakarta or Yogyakarta, which is a student city. Unfortunately, I had to skip both of those cities because I didn't have enough time. But instead, I've done a lot of attractions in East Java, and I found a tour where I could combine all the attractions together. So I visited the Tumpak waterfall, the Bromo volcano and the Itchen crater. If you have a little bit more time, you can extend your visa to more than a month. I would also recommend visiting Jakarta and Yogyakarta. I will definitely do it on my next trip. I've also heard rumors that it's not that easy to extend your visa when you're already in Indonesia, so I would recommend getting a 2-month visa in advance at the airport when you arrive. I'm gonna say that in advance, so you can also book everything without a guide and do it on your own with a car if you like to. For me, as a solo backpacker, it was way easier to book a tour in a car because the distance in between the volcanoes and the waterfall was extremely long, so I just wanted to have an organized trip this time. The distance between the volcano and the crater was round about 7 hours with the car, so I did the 3 tours in 3 days, and you also have to wake up really, really early. For the Itchen crater tour, we had to wake up at 2 in the night, and the day before for the volcano, we had to wake up at 3 to see the sunrise, which was so beautiful. For me, all those tours were really crazy and impressive. I'm glad that I did those tours, and I booked it all with a hostel in Malang. And Malang is a town which is nearby the Tumpak waterfall. The hostel is called Semeru Hostel, and the owner, Nadia, is such a sweetheart. She made this trip unforgettable. So if you're interested in an organized trip, just drop Nadia a message on Instagram and book the trip with her. I will put the link of her Instagram in the description box. I also flew around with my drone and recreated a lot of content. She also took so many photos of me, so I have lots of memories of this trip. So guys, don't skip East Java when you fly to Indonesia. It was a complete different experience than Bali, but you can also take a ferry from Bali and do all those trips the other way around. So if you already have a flight to Bali, you can just do the Itchen crater tour straight away because it's really close to Bali. But for sure, you also have to organize a car before, so keep that in mind. When you do the Itchen crater tour, you will be able to see the blue fire and the blue lava, which you can only see twice on planet Earth. One time in Indonesia and the other place is Iceland. After visiting East Java, I visited Bali for sure. Even if I heard lots of split opinions about Bali, I also would be interested in your opinion about Bali, so don't hesitate, drop me a comment. I was thinking about skipping Bali, but there was already a ferry ticket included in my East Java travel package to Gili, which is northern Bali, so it was the easiest way to leave Java, so I just took that ferry. And I also wanted to make my own opinion about Bali because I received a few messages before that Bali is not worth visiting. I also did a trip to Lovina, which is in the northern part of Bali and is just famous for its dolphin tours. We were hanging next to the boat and they pulled us through the water and we saw dolphins under the boat. To be honest, it may not be the best opportunity to see dolphins because the boat are chasing them, so it's not that animal friendly. Unfortunately, I just realized that when I already did the tour. I thought it's maybe 1 or 2 boats, but in the end it were like 10 to 15 boats chasing dolphins. The price was like 10 to 15 euros, which is around 20 Australian dollars roundabout. At least they don't feed the dolphins. I also did a few waterfall tours in Lovina, which was like 10 euros, so around 14 or 15 Australian dollars. And you can enter the water with some rock slides or do some cliff jumping. I really loved the tour and it's like around 25 minutes from the hostel where I slept with a scooter. And for sure, I also have a hostel recommendation for you. I just paid 3 euros, so around about 5 Australian dollars per night for a shared dorm room. And if you're crazy and want to save some more money, you can also sleep in a hammock, which is like only 2 euros per night, so around about 350 Australian dollars. To be honest, I appreciated my bed because I didn't want to have so many mosquito bites. And I also had the Bali belly at that time. The people in the hostel were very friendly. They also organized a scooter for you if you need one. I also planned my trip to Ubud with them and they organized a private shuttle for me. And Ubud was another highlight. It felt like a town in the middle of the jungle for me. It's also a bit touristy, but there are so many beautiful cafes, massage places and nice restaurants. And it's also a yoga hotspot. In the afternoon, I went to a day club, which is called Kretja, where I relaxed the whole afternoon and where is also an amazing view on the rice fields. There's also a very nice restaurant inside, and I also had a cocktail. It was the perfect getaway to relax in town. I was like a little sad not to spend more time in Ubud, but there was still so much to see. So next time I will definitely spend more time there. After Ubud, I went to Canggu with a scooter, which was way cheaper than the shuttle in the car. I also spent a couple of days there, but unfortunately I also didn't surf there because I just wanted to relax, and I also wasn't really able to surf by that time. But there are plenty of more opportunities to try surfing. I also heard that Uluwatu is another great surf spot, but I also have to save this place for my next visit in Bali. There are also many options to get a private surf coach. It's definitely touristy, and there are also many options to party. I was craving for a place to get away from the tourism, so I just booked a ferry to Nusa Lembongan, which is next to Nusa Penida in Bali. And this small island was definitely my favorite place so far in Indonesia, I think. But I already filmed the whole video about this island. I will put the link in the description box if you need more information and recommendations about Nusa Lembongan. I also slept in the most beautiful hostel on my whole trip in Indonesia, which is called the Bong Hostel, and I also went scuba diving there and saw 4-meter manta rays, which was another highlight. But like I said, I will give you more information in the next video. The manta ray dive site was definitely my favorite memories of this trip. If you are lucky and come in the right season, you will also be able to see mola mola, or the sunfish, which is also on my bucket list to see during a dive. Hopefully next time when I go there, but we will see. I also really would love to do my next scuba dive course, which is the rescue diver. I dived with the diving school Siren Diving and can 100% recommend them. I also did a day trip to the island Nusa Penida with some of the girls I met in the hostel, and on Nusa Penida you can see one of the most famous Instagram spots, and maybe you also already know those famous cliffs. We also went down. It was extremely exhausting, so I would definitely recommend to go very, very early in the morning and bring lots of water with you. I also heard a rumor that they are building a lift at the moment, but I'm not sure if that's just a rumor. Definitely bring some good hiking shoes because you also have to climb a little bit. Afterwards, we also went to Diamond Beach. Unfortunately, we only did a day trip, so if you want to see more of Nusa Penida, you better bring some more time than me. After Nusa Penida, I went to the Gili Islands with the girls, which I met in the Bong Hostel, and we actually had the best time there. We started at Gili T, which is the very first island of 3 islands. They are next to Lombok. You can easily take a ferry there, and I only visited Gili T, which is the party island, but we also did some free diving there, and we saw some sea turtles and also those famous underwater sculptures. I also got a very spontaneous tattoo with one of the girls, but I also recorded an extra video for that, so if you're interested in my tattoo stories, just check out the description box. The Gili Islands are definitely another favorite spot when I think back to my Indonesia travels. I really want to come back and visit Gili Air and Gili Meno. Those islands are a little bit more quiet and less touristy than Gili T. And also Lombok is definitely on my bucket list because that's the surf hotspot in Indonesia. And there are also plenty of nice surf schools and surf retreats. Another point of the bucket list is the Komodo Island tour and the last paradise, Raja Ampat, which is a scuba diving paradise. If you are into scuba diving or if you just want to snorkel and do a nice boat trip, this is a must-do. If I have time to do this one day, you will definitely find a video about it on my YouTube channel. But yeah, for sure, this is a must-do when I come back to Indonesia. Unfortunately, I also didn't make it to Sulawesi, which is still more like the old Indonesia and with less tourists and beautiful beaches. That's also definitely on my bucket list, and that's like already a plan for my next Indonesia trip when I return. So visiting the rest of the Gili Islands, Lombok, the Komodo tour, Raja Ampat and Sulawesi, that sounds already like a 2-month trip. In the end, I can definitely tell you, if you are looking for an adventure, don't skip Sumatra and East Java. Those islands were like pure adventure, and if you're more into beaches and party, just go to Bali. And just don't skip Nusa Penida and Nusa Lembongan, which is just one ferry trip away, and you can spend easily 2 to 3 weeks there without getting bored. I will record some more videos about Indonesia and maybe also a video about all the prices and costs what I spent in 1 month in Indonesia. So if you have more questions about Indonesia, don't hesitate to ask me in the comments. And I will also upload a travel map of my Philippines and Thailand travels in the next days if you are interested in that, and maybe also a video of all the costs because the Philippines are quite different to Indonesia. I'm always really happy to get some feedback from you guys, and I'll also receive some private messages on Instagram about my videos. We are almost 800 people here on this channel. Thank you so much for all the support and love. If you have more wishes about videos, just let me know. I will definitely spend some more weeks in the Philippines, and afterwards I want to travel Japan and Vietnam. I can't wait to talk about my next adventures, and I'm traveling with a group of 10 people at the moment, but we will split in the next days because everyone has some own travel plans here, and half of the group are scuba divers, so there's also an island where you can see treasure sharks. But you need to have an advanced diving license for that. Luckily, I already have this one, and I think I will travel to this island with another friend of mine. And it's another highlight because usually those sharks are living in a depth of 300 meters and just pop up to Malapascua Island to get cleaned by some smaller fish. I'm already really excited. When I go back to the hostel later, I will have to book 4 flights there. And there are also many things to organize. Maybe also a very special person is coming to visit me in Vietnam. But if that's 100% sure, I will definitely let you know. I will hopefully see you in my next video. I would be more than happy if you would leave me a follow or comment or a thumbs up. I really hope you guys have a beautiful weekend. And see you soon. Bye bye.